Welcome to Unraveling Relationships, Emotions, and Desires, the program where we turn tears into laughter and pain into power. I am your host, Dr. Sheila Hodgman-Dover, and I'm here to help you decode the emotional excitement of love. Can a relationship survive if one person insists on leaving the toilet seat up? Today, we will continue the discussion on the journey of love with a flair and a dash of Robert Sternberg's triangular theory of love. Yes, that's right. Triangles are not just for geometry class anymore. Many people feel that love is like a roller coaster, thrilling, terrifying, and occasionally makes you want to throw up. But fear not. I am here to equip you with the ultimate survival guide. The three necessary ingredients of love, the main foundation, and also the responses to love: fight, flight, freeze, and of course, fabulous. Let's break it down, shall we? All right, buckle up, love detectives. We are diving into the wild, wacky, and sometimes downright confusing world of Robert Sternberg's triangular theory of love. According to Robert Sternberg, love is like a triangle. Picture this: love as a triangle, not a love triangle. Those types of relationships, dramatic ones, are messy. I am referring to a triangle with three juicy corners: intimacy, passion, and commitment. Remember, this triangle has three ingredients: intimacy, passion, and commitment. Think of it as the holy trinity of love. Without all three, your love triangle is just a sad, lopsided shape. Let us focus on the three essentials of love ingredients according to Robert Sternberg. The first one is intimacy. Intimacy is the electrifying bridge that connects souls, where emotional boundaries dissolve and hearts beat in unison. It's that magical space where two people can share their deepest fears, they can share their wildest dreams and quirkiest habits without a hint of hesitation or discomfort. Imagine a couple lying underneath the stars, whispering secrets they've never told anyone before. Or best friends laughing so hard they can't breathe, knowing each other's inside jokes like the back of their hand. Intimacy is the spark that turns ordinary moments into extraordinary memories. With every glance, every touch, our word carries the weight of 1,000 unspoken emotions. It's the glue that binds lovers, friends, and kindred spirits, creating a bond so profound that it feels like coming home. In other words, intimacy is about connection, trust, and in knowing that your partner won't judge you. Intimacy is also knowing each other so well that you can easily finish each other's sentences. It's the emotional connection that says, hey, I actually like you as a human being. The question is, will you remain in a love relationship if there is no intimacy? Or you can ask yourself, how long will you remain in an intimate relationship if the intimacy has died or is frozen? Now, let's talk about some problems with intimacy. Some people struggle to form close relationships. They have trouble speaking about their deepest secrets or trusting anyone. They overthink everything. Take Jay, for example. Jay is great at small talk. He can chat about the weather, debate about pineapples, whether pineapples belong on pizza, and even recommend the best dog parks in town. But when it comes to opening up about his fear of clowns or committing to a relationship longer than his gym membership, he freezes up like a Wi-Fi connection during a Zoom call. He wants to get closer to his crush, Mary, but every time she tries to get into a deep conversation, he panics. Does that sound familiar to you? Whether it's trust issues, fear of fear of being vulnerable, or just knowing how to say, I like you, without sounding like a robot. Building intimacy can feel like navigating a minefield on roller coaster skates. But even the messiest connections can turn into something beautiful. Just as a couple who eventually bonded over their shared love of bad puns and questionable karaoke choices. Intimacy is very important. So now let's focus on the second component of Robert Sternberg's triangular theory of love, which is passion. Passion is a fiery, all-consuming force that grips the soul. It's an unstoppable surge of emotion that drives us beyond reason. It's the kind of intensity that makes your heart race, your mind obsess, and your body tremble with anticipation. Whether it's the magnetic pull or desire, or the burning enthusiasm for pursuit, the passion takes hold of you, often against your will, and propels you into a world where emotions run wild and boundaries blur. It's not just a feeling, it's a force of nature. Imagine a musician on stage, fingers flying across the strings of a guitar, sweat dripping as the crowd roars. Every note is a heartbeat, every chord a confession of love for the heart. They are not just playing music, they are living it, breathing it, consumed by it. Or picture two lovers, the eyes locked in a silent promise, the ear between the electric with unspoken unlonging. The ear between them is just so powerful. Every touch is a spark, every whisper is a spark. In other words, passion is the spark, the fire. The I can't keep my hands off you part of love. Passion is great, but let's be honest, it's also the reason why many people do ridiculous things. Passion causes you to have butterflies in your stomach, that kind of vibe. The big question is, how long will you remain in a love relationship if you feel like the passion has died? Or will you remain in a love relationship if there's no passion? Let's move on to the third component of Robert Sternberg's triangular theory of love. The third component is commitment. The American Psychological Association defines commitment in the context of romantic relationship as a deep sense of devotion and a dedication to one's partner. This involves a conscious decision to maintain the relationship over time, even in the face of challenges or difficulties. Commitment typically includes emotional investment, loyalty, and a willingness to work through problems together to sustain the relationship. It's saying, I choose you, even when I disagree with you. It's the decision to stay when there is no butterflies in your stomach and the intimacy is tested. Commitment is the I'll stay with you even though you sound like a trumpet when you snore. It's the long-term game plan. The let's grow old and argue about whose turn it is to take out the trash when we're both wearing mismatched socks and dentures. It's promising to stick around through thick and thin, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health. That's a commitment. Love's way of saying, I will stick with you even when you are being a lovable disaster. Without commitment, love is just a fancy way of saying, let's hang out until one of us finds someone who doesn't leave socks on the floor or who doesn't leave the toilet seat up. Now, some people struggle with fear of commitment. Many people have what we call a fear of commitment in intimate relationship, which causes the dance of love and doubt. The dance of love and doubt. Fear of commitment in intimate relationship is like standing at the edge of a diving board, staring into the deep, beautiful end of the pool. The water looks inviting. The water is looking so inviting, but the thought of jumping in stirs up a whirlwind of anxiety and uncertainty. It's the internal tug of war between the desire for connection and the fear of losing oneself, of being trapped, or of getting hurt. This fear often stems from deeper issues with intimacy and attachment, shaped by past experiences, past insecurities, or even societal pressures. For some, it's not just about avoiding a relationship, it's about the overwhelming dread of being bound to a future that feels uncertain or out of their control. At its core, fear of commitment is a defense mechanism. It's the mind's way of saying, what if this doesn't work out? What if I'm not enough? What if I lose my freedom? These questions can paralyze even the most confident individuals, making them hesitant to fully invest in a relationship. In extreme cases, this fear can lead to a pattern of short-lived relationships or even social maladjustment, where the person struggles to form meaningful connections altogether. The irony of fear of commitment is that it often masks a deep longing for connection. It's not that people who have fear of commitment don't want love, they do. But the vulnerability required to fully commit feels like stepping into the unknown, and that can be terrifying. Overcoming this fear often requires introspection, communication, and sometimes professional guidance to unpack the root causes and build the emotional resilience needed to take the leap of faith. In the end, commitment is not about losing freedom. It's about choosing to share your life with someone who adds to it. And while the fear may never fully disappear, learning to dance with it can lead to some of the most rewarding experiences life has to offer. So the big question is, how long will you remain in a love relationship, if there is no commitment? How long will you remain in a love relationship if there is no commitment? Now let us talk about the 8 flavors of love from Robert Sternberg's Love Buffet, okay? So when you add those 3 ingredients together, we can have different types of dishes. So let's talk about the first one. First one is no love or non-love. Non-love means there's no intimacy, no passion, no commitment, just vibes or lacking thereof. So this one, non-love. The second one is friendship. It's all intimacy, no passion, no commitment. Think of your bestie who knows all your secrets, but would never ever kiss you. Thank goodness. Then the third one is infatuated love. This is the, oh my gosh, you're so hot. I can't breathe. That kind of face. Passion is off the charts, but intimacy and commitment, nah. It's the crush that makes you act like a middle schooler. Fun, but it might fizzle faster than a soda left open. So that's infatuated love. The third one is empty love. Picture a marriage. Think about a couple being married for years, but the spark is gone. But you're still together because, well, we have a hefty bank account or a profitable business or a name brand that you do not want to give up. So you feel like you're inseparable. It's all commitment, no intimacy, no passion. Basically, it's the we're staying together for the sake of the dog, or the sake of the money, or the sake of the kids. The fifth one is romantic love. Romantic love, according to Robert Sternberg, is passion and intimacy, but no commitment. So there's passion and intimacy. It's candlelit dinners, holding hands, and making memories. But here's the catch, there's no commitment. So it's like best friends with benefits, with no guarantee of a happy ending. Without the commitment, many people are left feeling like something is missing or that they are rejected. The sixth type of love relationship, according to Robert Sternberg, is companionate love. This is the we've been together forever and I still like you. Love, intimacy plus commitment. So they like each other, they can share the feelings with each other, they're committed, but there's no passion. The passion has retired or is frozen or dead. It's cozy, stable, and perfect for long-term marriages or your grandma who still sends you birthday cards. Then there's factitious love. Oh, this one's dozy. Passion and commitment. So this one you have passion and commitment, but no intimacy. It's the let's get married after 1 week of dating, this kind of love. You don't know each other, but you're passionate about each other and you jump and you get married. Spoiler alert, it does not normally end well for many people, even though for some it does, but it's a risk. The eighth type of love, according to Robert Sternberg, is consummate love, the holy grail of love, intimacy, passion, and commitment, all in one. It's the weirdest soulmate, and I'll fight a beer for you, this kind of love. But Sternberg warns that this kind of love, where you have all three, intimacy, passion, and commitment, is harder to maintain than a New Year's resolution. It takes a lot of work to maintain this. Do you agree with Sternberg? Let us focus on consummate love a little bit more. The one he says that is very difficult, which comprises intimacy, passion, and commitment. Maintaining consummate love is one of the most challenging yet rewarding endeavors you will ever undertake in life. To preserve this delicate balance, envision your relationship as a beautiful flower garden. Without daily care and attention, weeds will inevitably creep in and threaten to overwhelm its beauty. Nurturing love requires consistent effort, dedication, and a commitment to tending to its needs, ensuring it flourishes and thrives over time. But don't worry, in the next section, we will discuss Dr. John Gottman's Sound Relationship House, which gives a blueprint for ensuring that your love relationship can last, including both intimacy, passion, and commitment. Consummate love can last if you follow Dr. John Gottman's Sound Relationship Blueprint. Before we discuss Dr. John Gottman's Sound Relationship House, we will focus now on the fight, flight, and freeze, and what I call the fabulous response to challenges in love relationship. The following are the options to respond to challenges. Number one is fight. Fight for it when it's worth it. The fight response is not about throwing punches or starting a wrestling match in your living room. No. It's about fighting for your relationship, about using strategies when your love relationship has all the right ingredients: intimacy, passion, commitment. And wait for it, respect as a foundation. If your love is a 5-star meal with all the fixings, don't just walk away during times of trouble. Fight for it. Communicate, work through the tough times, and remind each other why you're worth it. Love is a team sport, and sometimes you've got to put all your emotional boxing gloves and go the distance to seek professional help. The second response is called flight. Now, the question is when to use the fight response. In my opinion, it's when the only ingredient in your relationship is passion or infatuation alone, and also if the relationship is filled with disrespect. Passion is like the glitter of relationships, shiny, exciting, and everything at first, but eventually it gets stuck in places you didn't even know existed. If your relationship is all passion and has no foundation, in my opinion, it's time to use the flight response and run. Passion alone is like building a house on glitter sand. If you build a house on glitter sand, it is going to collapse. If someone tells you that they love you, but there's no intimacy or commitment for years, but passion alone, if passion alone exists and you cannot depend, it means you cannot depend on this person to be there for you when the going gets rough. However, if you're in a phase in your life where passion alone is enough for you, then that is fine. But if you require more than that, you will be left feeling empty in a relationship with passion alone, where there's no intimacy nor commitment. The flight response is also useful if other ingredients are there, but you're feeling emotionally sensitive and feel like you're about to say something that you regret. If this is the case, then flight is your friend. The flight response is your friend. Let your loved one know that you are taking a break and will return to the conversation later when you are feeling better. Take a breather, cool off, and come back when you're ready to talk like a rational human being instead of a reality TV star. If you can't be respectful, take a break and remove yourself from the situation. The third response is the freeze response. freeze for love. Picture this. Your partner says or does something that makes your blood boil. Your first instinct might be to fire back with a snarky comment or dramatic exit. But hold up. This is where the freeze response comes in. Freeze like you're in a game of red light, green light, 1, 2, 3. Before you take any dramatic action, stop and think and resist the urge to say something you will regret later on. Freezing gives you time to process and decide how to address the issue calmly and effectively. Tit for tat, butter for fat does not work. Pause and remain silent. Be respectful. You can buy yourself time to respond like a fabulous human being that you are. Pause when you need to. Freeze for a moment and possibly remove yourself until you are able to use your communication skills to fight for your values. You can also seek professional help to learn how to be assertive, respectful, and confident while communicating your feelings. The fourth response is what I refer to as fabulous response. Most importantly, I call the fabulous response the most important response. This is the ultimate relationship hack. When things get tough, respond with respect, kindness, humor, and a dash of flair. Fabulous response is important. For example, if your partner is mad because you forgot your anniversary, simply apologize. Say you're sorry and do something different. Return home with a bouquet of flowers, a love song, and a promise to do better and do better. Being fabulous diffuses tension and reminds your partner why they fell for you in the first place. It's about letting your partner know that no matter what, you'll always choose respect, kindness, forgiveness, and a little bit of spark. Whether you're fighting for love, fleeing from dance, or freezing to avoid saying something you'll regret, always come back to being fabulous. In conclusion, fight for the love that's worth it. Use the flight response from the love for the love that's all glitter and no glue. Freeze when things get heated and always, always come back to being fabulous. We can all agree that love relationships are like a dance. Sometimes you're doing the tango, sometimes you're doing the cha-cha, and sometimes you're just stepping on each other's toes. But with intimacy, passion, and commitment, and most of all, respect, you can create a love story that has all the components of Robert Sternberg's triangular theory of love. There's a common wisdom that says that, and now abideth faith, hope, love, these three, but the greatest of these is love. Faith and hope are great, but love, it's a virtue you don't want to live without. Love requires teamwork, dedication, and the occasional halftime prep talk. Get ready for the next session in which we will delve deep into respect and Dr. Robert and Dr. John Gottman's Sound Relationship House. Join me next time for Unraveling Relationships and Desires. Unraveling relationship emotions and desires. Life isn't just about fight, flight, or freeze. It's about finding your fabulous. Until next time, keep unraveling the extraordinary. Visit us at www.unravelred.com to continue the conversation and stay fabulous.